when I say you won't have to work as long, what that means is that you may need to work hard for another 12 years. But if you didn't have this knowledge, if you didn't make better decisions, you might have had to work for another 15 years. Stand up if you do this. I'm already standing, so consider it. Hang on. How many people here clear their credit card 100%, assuming you have a credit card, every single month on the same similar day? Isn't that interesting? So this is good. All the people that are here to teach you and help you, do it. By the end of this program, I want to help you. Some of you might be saying, well, I need to get to a place where we can do that. Okay? I'm going to teach you the habits of, once you're at that place, how to do it, but I'm also going to show you how to get to that. A lot of people have budgets, but how often do you know people that have those successfully working? They don't typically make, do they? The cash flows I teach you, you have to update them every week. With your business, if you're prudent, depending on how many transactions you might do it every 2 or 3 days. What is the common theme of people who are successful? What do? They do the simple, basic things over and over, and they've just got those habits locked in. True? Yeah. Yeah, so why do you think other small businesses should do it?
Oh, because
it's funny you say you had no education, but you've been doing it for 13 years, so it's pretty.
Well, it was experience, but we thought we were doing a good. We thought we kind of knew what we're doing, and we didn't really understand why we would need to know that.
We didn't think we could work any harder. So, how would this help? If we couldn't work any harder, then how could this even help? So.
And there must be. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that probably run, the same way. They just do what they know, and
it sounded like the group that we were with, predominantly they were all pretty much the same way.
Do you think other small businesses should do a program like this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're a person that is like me and, yeah, I know that, you pay taxes and stuff, but, what does it all mean? What does it all entail? This has opened my eyes to a lot. So I would recommend this to anybody.
Okay, fantastic.
Definitely.
And so did you find the environment, the content and the presentation, was it like Hollywood and rah-rah, or was it practical, simple, fun? What was it?
It was practical, it was simple, and it was definitely fun.
Yeah.
You didn't think you were going... I had this picture of going to school,
yeah.
I'm not going to lie, and I had this picture of, homework and school and, that discipline kind of, thing, but it was awesome. Yeah. And, yes, there is homework involved, but it opened your eyes to so much that you actually enjoyed doing the homework.
Ten Hats program is about helping small business owners simplify business. Most business owners, SMEs, become overwhelmed, and that comes out in different forms. And at the end of the day, is what most SME business owners don't understand is that there's actually 10 hats that they are wearing in order to run a successful business. And most business owners live or wear 3 to 4 of them. And you know, if you're playing a game and it requires you to have 10 pieces of the puzzle in order to win, but you're only aware of 3 or 4 and you do them very well, how are you ever going to win if you're not using or know the other 6? So this course is really to say, well, these are the 10 hats that you wear. Depending on which of the hats that you wear will define what problems you're having in the business. So there are a lot of business owners who feel that they are attached to the business like an umbilical cord. You know, they build the whole business around them. And they're the sort of person in terms of the hats who, you know, are wearing as many of the hats as they can. They're on, they're off, they're on, they're off, and no decisions can be made without them. And you'll find that there'll be 2 or 3 hats in there, and typically they're not good planners, or they don't think strategically. Their business model's not strong. And there's 2 or 3 hats that really focus on that area, and I guarantee you that they're not very strong in those areas. Some people feel that that if they stop working, the business stops, and that's because, you know, they do most of the operations or delivery. You know, they're the ones. If they're an accountant, they're in there doing the most billings. If they're a mechanic, they're the ones who are doing all the tinkering. They can't grow their business. They can't scale. It's not sustainable. If they were to have a heart attack or a stroke or something like that, the business goes south, because the trust in the client base is obviously also with them. So when a business owner puts himself in that situation, the problem is that the cash flow is direct, that the business attracts and that the owner can take out to support the family is always under threat. So if he gets tired of, or if she gets tired, or she gets sick, well, that's what also happens to the cash flow. You know, you've got young children or older children. You know, you've got superannuation, you've got bills, and all that sort of thing that then become, you know, in jeopardy or under threat. That's not secure. So, you know, by doing the 2-day Business Mastery 10 Hats course, you will see which of those hats you're really wearing a lot. And sometimes you're going to be wearing 1 or 2 of them a lot, but at the detriment of the rest of the business. And when you do something like that, what that means is that you'll have no time freedom. You know, the business is not strong without you, which means that you can't have holidays. You know, you can't have extended holidays. You can't have sick days. You can't have much time off because, you know, the family is What we want to do is make sure that business owners have the awareness, so conscious of, you know, I want them to win the game of business. And, you know, having spent the last 10 years helping and fixing a lot of businesses and seeing, you know, the real effects of not being able to pay a mortgage, or the real effects of not being able to pay wages, and, you know, the stress that people carry and the illness that comes to them in their body and their family, you know, the shame that people carry, and it comes out in so many different forms and leads to addictions, leads to broken relationships, you know, just because of they didn't know the different parts of a business, and nobody's ever shown them simply. So what we want to do is make it really simple and break it down. So over the 2 days, we'll explain what the 10 different hats are, and there are 10 departments. It's the same for every business. It's the same chassis, and we'll break them down and we'll say, like, in this one, these are the things, 2 or 3 things you really need to focus on when you wear that hat. Here's, you know, and then next hat, you know, these are the things you need to do. It's going to be very experiential, which means that you're going to be doing stuff. You're not coming in for a 2-day lecture. Okay, we're going to be using your data. You're going to be using your data. You're going to get things started in each of these departments that's going to pull the IP out of your head, because you're the only one that knows. Put the pieces together so that the business starts working for you, and not you working for the business. That's what we'll do over the 2 days. We'll take you through the hats. We'll make it very clear so you understand what that is. We'll give you real practical exercises that you'll be doing. You'll start them in the 2 days, and then you can continue on and finish the day after it. If you don't know what each of the 10 hats are, and you don't apply the appropriate attention to them on a weekly or a monthly basis, then you don't really have a business. You're going to have a job. It's just a glorified job that's probably got your name on it.